everybody, and welcome to the Westwood Living Podcast Network. Great to have you with us. Tom Leyden here, as always, and two guests today. Diana Brouillard, how are you?
I'm great.
Great. Leah Mofford, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
This is the team that is the ownership group of Dream Spa Medical, the two women who are the engine behind the success of an ever-growing company. And if you saw where we are today, you would see that we are still growing. Why don't you give a description of where we are today?
Well, we're in our rustic space here. It's
Slash industrial. It's rustic industrial.
Yeah, we're going for the rustic industrial look. We are in an expanded area that is adjacent to our existing space in Brookline, and it is unfinished, which is why we're all laughing. The floor is still concrete, and the walls are still bare, and the HVAC is exposed, but we're going to soon turn this into an additional space for our wellness lounge, as well as a couple of extra treatment rooms.
So this is 2,000 additional square feet that will be added to, I think you told me 2,500 on the other side of this building?
Yep, 45 total.
So 3 locations, Leah. We have Canton. I've now hit the trifecta. I visited all of them. The one in Canton was the flagship. That's where it all started, upstairs from your mom's practice, if I'm not mistaken,
That's right, yep.
And then we have this location, which was second, which is now expanding, and then the one you just opened in Foxboro at Patriot Place. So, Leah, let's turn to you and just how great has it been to sort of see this growth and expansion? I'm sure every day is filled with joys and nothing but happiness the whole way.
Yes, so Brookline is actually part 2 Brookline. We had another location down the street here. It wasn't a storefront space. It was kind of in an office area. And we moved up here February
6 weeks before COVID.
February 2020.
Yeah.
And then we closed March 19th, 2020.
Perfect
Yeah,
timing.
Perfect
yeah,
timing.
It was great.
No, we joke about that, but in all honesty, Diana, you talked about it when we did the cover feature on you last spring, and we talked about your personal story. I was so impressed by the fact that of all business owners, there were some who took advantage of what was made available to you during COVID, and some who didn't, and you did. So let's start there about what you did during that very difficult time to kind of really set up success.
Well, when we first shut down, we were always shut down for 2 weeks, right?
Right.
No one ever thought it would be 3 months. And we were shut down for 2 weeks, and, I was bummed out. Leah's like, this is what we have to do. And we kind of just, we're waiting for 2 weeks. Then when we realized it was going to be a lot more than 2 weeks, Leah actually found some great content online that was giving advice to business owners on what to do during the pandemic, what to do to financially recover or financially stay stable. And we just did a bunch of webinars.
Yeah, you just have to take action. You can't stay stagnant as a business at any point in time. So we just thought of ways to make it work. We did little at-home facial kits. Diana really dived into how we can, kind of restructure the business financially. Diana and I had kind of been running for a lot of years to, you got to grow a business. You got to kind of put it all in. And it was almost a nice little time to kind of take a second and reorganize ourselves. And then Diana got right on, how can we get involved with vaccines? How can we restructure so that we can open? It was cool to look back on now.
Well, when you think about it, it was really the key to your continued success because there were so many businesses that did not survive. So for you to figure it out and take those steps necessary, congratulations to you. But I want to learn about how you met. So Leah, let's go to you first. I mean, how did this partnership become a thing?
She hired me at the front desk.
100 years ago.
100 years ago. I was a hairdresser for many years, and I decided to go back to school for aesthetics. One of my instructors at the school that I was at told me there was an opening at the front desk, and I just wanted to get my foot in the door. So I came, and it was serendipity. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of kept bugging her. And
yeah. And
so
then
what did you see?
Start going to the back.
What did you see in Leah that said, hey, that's somebody who should be a partner?
A partner. So Leah always from the beginning was just very involved, invested, and cared a lot, right? Even at the front desk, she wanted to be in the back. And, with respect, she got her way. right? That's kind of the way she operates, is like she just gets right in there, but then says, "Oh, so sorry about that," um, which worked out. I'm more reserved. I like to evaluate things a little bit more. I don't jump in as much, so sometimes
I just go.
Yeah, and she just dives in, which is why I think it works, right? We're yin and yang in that way, but she got herself in the back. She started seeing clients, and she just did a wonderful job. And it was beyond just seeing patients. She was, treating patients successfully, but also would have great business ideas. And as we kind of evolved and developed, eventually it just became clear that, number one, she needed more than just where she was, right? People like that who are ambitious and who need growth professionally are just not going to stay stagnant, right? So eventually it just became clear that we needed to bring her in as a partner, right? She had great ideas, she had great execution, she had great vision, and it was something the business needed.
I proposed business to her.
She proposed
I said,
to me.
"Would you like to be my business partner forever?"
No diamond ring, though. Very disappointing.
We got a new location out of it. I said, "Would you like to do business with me forever in Patriot Place as well?"
And then we started Patriot Place from that. So Leah became a partner in 2021.
2021.
When
And
you
then
view
we started
this
Patriot Place.
industry, it's broad. And I'm sure when you started it, there were things that you said, this is going to be our bread and butter. But how has that changed? How has that evolved? And it seems to me that you always have to learn about what's hot, what's new, what sticks with the consumers. So take me through that journey of what makes Dream Spa Medical what it is.
I think us in the industry, we're always looking for the newest, coolest thing. And we're so excited about new techniques and new technology. But what does your consumer want? Your consumer wants safety and tried and true and trusted. They want innovation, but safe innovation, right?
And results.
Yeah, they want safe, innovative results. I think mistakes that we have made in the past is chasing always the newest, coolest thing. We have them. We bring them on, but this is such a new industry. So, sometimes it's a little bit daunting to be like, hey, this device here has been on the market for 6 months. Want to try it? Mm-hmm. They're like, yes? Question mark. I'm not sure. So we take an innovative approach to tried and trusted true technology, and then try to kind of up the ante from there. We have a lot of trademark treatments that we've come up with that are some tried and true laser technology that has been around forever, and then we take a facial aspect to it, or we include some kind of injectable experience with it to kind of blend that and make it a little bit more digestible for our patient base.
This may not be a fair question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Is there a standard or typical track that an average client follows? Maybe somebody who comes in a bit sheepishly and then becomes a trusted client because they trust you. What's the general journey for an average client?
I think so many patients come to Dream Spa Medical and they're, I just want to do facials. I just want to take a natural approach. You want to give patients what they're comfortable with. And then, 2 years later, they're Botox and fillers and Sculptra and advanced treatments and body treatments. And it's that trust. You just have, it's that trust that's important to us to build a lifelong patient. You don't want to push somebody into something that they're not comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. And we work with people, right? We meet them where they're at. Some people come in and they say, I want the works. And some people come in and they say, I just want a facial. And some people come in and they say, I want laser hair removal. So we meet them where they're at. We work with them and we kind of go along as far as they want to go along. And at some point, to Leah's point, they do want more. And I mean, we're in New England. We're not in LA. We're not in Miami. We're doing natural results regardless of the treatments that we do. Nobody here looks like Hollywood.
Being innovative to me is being able to turn the clock back on someone or give them that confidence that they're looking for and still maintaining them. They look exactly how they look. They just look like they slept a few extra hours, or they just look like they haven't worked, 100 hours this week, or chasing around children. That's what we want. We don't want to, no one wants to walk out and think, oh, what did she do?
Yeah, no one wants to look altered, right? The idea is to enhance your natural beauty and make you look like you looked 5-10 years ago.
And that's an art. That's an innovative art to me to be able to deliver that.
So I've gotten to know you, Diana, a little bit more over the last year, and in our cover feature, which we'll get into in a couple seconds here, one thing that jumped out to me is that you're into business. You know, you're not, and this is the word that I can never say, esthetician. Did I get it?
Yes,
You got it.
Right, that's pretty good. I have practiced on the car ride the whole way here. I'm like, you're going to get to that moment, you're going to mess it up, and then I didn't. So like, maybe I'll just edit that out. Esthetician. You're not an esthetician. It's not your expertise to be the person who's dealing one-on-one with your patients and clients. But why was it this industry that you wanted to pursue as a business owner?
It's a booming industry. I mean, this industry is growing like crazy. Even just, you see so much private equity getting so much interest into this industry. I get emails every day that of private equity firms that are interested in buying up Dream Spa Medical. You see this whole changeover with MSO, managed service organizations, that are trying to take over practices, right? It's happening in the veterinary world, it's happening in dental, it's happening in dermatology, and now it's happening in medical spa because investors, people with money who understand growth, know that this industry is trending upwards and they want to get in on it now and they want to cash out.
What I loved also about something you told me was that you want to be able to set up something that is repeatable, that is sustainable, that is, you can replicate it easy in a new location. How has that progressed in the 10 months since we last talked? I know that you take your baby steps and you're opening up your own locations here, and that's a big ask to kind of franchise yourself. But what have you learned about that aspect?
I've learned that you have to do so much more than you think you have to do.
Amen.
I think you think that you're going to write things up and it's clear, and then you put it into practice and it's actually not that clear. There's so much that can be left up to interpretation that you don't really think about spelling out when you're writing these things up, like all these policies, procedures, and protocols and trainings, and just even how you implement things, right? Do you give them something to read? Do you give them something to read and then watch a video and then test them out on it, right? There's so many aspects to duplicating a practice and just doing things consistently across all 3 locations. I think what I've learned in the last 10 months is that you think you got it, and then
You don't.
you don't.
But you're a step ahead of other people, and one key thing that you obviously have displayed or shown is an ability to delegate and an ability to find people you can trust. And I guess, Leah, the question is aimed towards you, that understanding that you have a leader at the helm who says, hey, I'm strong in this area, you're stronger in this area, I'm going to let you run with it. Is that fair to say that that's how a good business really gets taken to the next level?
Absolutely. I think it just shows from our partnership. You have to be a strong person to have a business and say, hey, I'll share it with you. I kind of asked for the sharingness. I kind of forced the sharingness. But it takes a lot, for a person to share their baby with you, and more is better. I would take 10 more of us and share. You want to create something big, you have to trust people, you have to empower them, and you have to, listen to their ideas and know that, okay, we did these 5 things great, and maybe we did these 3 things, and let's hear about how we can, do these 3 things better, and let's go forth and prosper.
You have to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, this is not my strong suit, right? Like, you have to just be able to say that to yourself. You can't be egotistical about things if you want to be successful.
I get the chance to revisit with people who've been on the cover a couple months after, and these are my favorite conversations because I kind of put you on the spot a little bit. It's not normal for people to be on the cover of a magazine, and yet there you were with your husband and your 2 beautiful daughters. And I just want to know what the feedback was like. What did you hear from people in town? What was that experience like for you when it hit mailboxes and people were reading your story and probably learned things about you and your family that they never would have known otherwise?
For sure.
She's my little celebrity.
Yeah. Well, people were asking for my autograph everywhere I went. No.
I have to field them off when we go anywhere.
It's hard to go into stores, I can't even go grocery shopping. No, it was so cool. Honestly, I got so much good feedback from people in town. Like, I would take my daughters to sporting events locally, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey, I read your story. It was so cool. I didn't know you immigrated from Latvia." Like all of these things. So that was really cool. The girls loved it, right?
Patients would come into our Canton location, and the book would be out with with her on it. Does she own this? Does she own Dream Spa Medical? I didn't know that she spoke Italian, or I didn't know, and it was really, really cool to see that.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool experience. My daughter, Juliana, who's in Sheehan, she was like a little local celeb. I think she like soaked it all up. And it was cool. Chris loved it too. It was a very cool experience.
Well, Leah, you may not know this, but when we first started talking, I mean, listen, the key to success of putting somebody on the cover of the magazine is not for me to say, here's Diana and she owns a business. Like, that's not necessarily what's going to get people to open it up. And so we had a conversation about, listen, we got to tell your story. People need to know who you are, and people need to know what your story is,
impressive.
right? So what's your story? And it was at the point when she said, it was the moment, it's like, well, I can tell you about how, we had to go by 2 separate routes to the train station to escape communist Russia. I'm like, okay, we're good. That's a good story. We'll take it from there.
She doesn't tell it enough. She's too humble about it. I mean, not to me, but to everybody else, they don't know her story. Her family's story is so inspiring. It has pushed me to want to be better and want to be better for my family.
It's very cool. So what's the best step somebody could take if they want to learn more about you, or maybe dip that toe in the pool if they haven't become a patient yet? What's the next best step?
Contact us however is convenient for you. You can go to our website, dreamspamedical.com. You can give us a call at any of the locations. Email us, text us, DM us through Instagram. We have all our communication lines always open, and we have a dedicated person who introduces new clients and new patients into the practice. Her name's Michelle. She's wonderful. Contact us whichever way you want. We'll set you up with whatever is convenient and works for you.
3 locations, Brookline, Canton, and Foxboro, so whichever one works for you. Of course, you want to be following the social media pages, so hop online to Instagram and Facebook and learn a little bit more there. You can learn about Diana and Leah, their team, and just hop in. It's great. You'll experience luxury. When you walk in, it's very nice. No matter what location you go to, you immediately feel like you've taken it up a notch. So that's a compliment to what you've established. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And as always, if there's anyone else you would like me to chat with on this podcast, reach out. Leyden@bestversionmedia.com. I'm very approachable. Suggest who you may want me to talk to. I'll find that person. We'll have a conversation, and we'll share it with you right here on the Westwood Living Podcast Network. But for now, from Brookline, just in the shadow of Coolidge Corner, this is Tom Leyden. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.